Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to tackle a really big topic, the digital transformation of the pharmaceutical industry. We're going to lay out a clear roadmap to what everyone's calling the digital factory.
So you might be asking yourself, how do you even begin a journey this massive? For any pharma company, moving from the old way of doing things to a smart, data-first operation, well, it can feel pretty overwhelming. But it's a huge leap you've got to make to stay competitive. Okay, so let's get into it. The answer really is having a solid, step-by-step roadmap to guide you. And this isn't about just buying a bunch of fancy new tech. It's about building an integrated system where everything from AI to the cloud works together for a specific reason. You know, you wouldn't start a cross-country road trip without a map, right? It's the exact same idea here. This first part is all about planning, and honestly, it's probably the most important phase. If you get this right, everything that follows becomes so much easier. And this is super important. Any digital project you take on has to connect back to real business goals. We're not talking about tech for the sake of tech. You have to ask, is this going to help us improve product quality? Is it going to cut our costs? Is it going to make sure we're compliant? That's what really matters.
Before you can even think about where you're going, you have to get real about where you are right now. This means taking a good, hard look at your current tech, your processes, and even your company culture to see what's working and, more importantly, where the gaps are.
So how do you figure all that out? Well, lucky for us, the industry has a standard tool for this. It's called the Pharma 4.0 maturity model. It's basically a way to benchmark yourself and see exactly where you are on the digital journey, from level 1 all the way up.
And what's so great about this model is how it lays out a really clear path. You might start at level 1, with just a few digital tools here and there. Then maybe you get to level 2, where things are digital, but they're all stuck in their own silos. The real magic, though, starts happening around level 3, when you start connecting everything. And that leads all the way to level 5, where AI is actually running the show.
All right, so you've got your map. Now for the fun part, the build. This is where the strategy starts to become real, where you start putting together the actual systems and hardware of your digital factory.
Now, choosing your technology partners here, it's a huge deal. You need people who really get the pharma world, who understand compliance and quality. That's why running a proof of concept is so smart. It's like a test drive. You get to see if a vendor's tech actually works for you before you sink a ton of money into it. Okay, this next part is a real game changer. We're talking about a total overhaul of something called validation. You know, the process of proving a system works and meets all the regulations. We're moving away from these old, slow, paper-based methods to a new approach called Validation 4.0, which is just way smarter and faster. And here's how it works. Instead of treating every little thing as equally important, you focus your energy on what actually poses the biggest risk to patients or data. You can see things like GXP regulations here. Those are the good practice rules. By focusing on the high-risk areas, you save a ton of time, you cut costs, and you actually end up with a safer system. It just makes sense.
Okay, the factory is built, it's passed inspection. Now it's time to actually get on the road and start seeing some results. But the launch itself has to be handled carefully to make sure everything goes smoothly. And listen, this is so much more than just flipping a switch. This is all about your people. You can't just drop a new system on them and expect it to work. You need to roll it out in phases, provide amazing training, and create super users, champions on the inside who can help everyone else get on board. It's a human challenge more than a technical one.
So, you've launched. How do you know if it's actually working? Well, that's where a key metric comes in, called Overall Equipment Effectiveness, or OEE. It is the absolute gold standard for measuring how productive your manufacturing lines are. Basically, it's a simple formula that tells you exactly how well you're doing. It looks at 3 things. Availability, is the machine actually running? Performance, is it running as fast as it should be? And quality, is it making good products? You multiply those together and you get a single clear score. It's beautiful. And what this lets you do is move from just theory to having a real-time command center. Think of it like mission control for your factory. These dashboards give you an instant look at your performance, so you can spot problems right away and make smart decisions on the fly.
Okay, we've covered a lot, but none of it, and I mean none of it, works with this final crucial piece, data governance.
Yeah, it's really important to think of this not as the last step in the process, but as the foundation for the entire thing. It's like the laws of physics that make everything else possible. Without good data governance, the whole digital factory just can't work. So what does a good framework do? It's pretty simple, really. It sets the rules of the road for your data. It makes sure your data is high quality, secure, consistent, and available to the people who need it when they need it. It creates a single source of truth for everybody.
And here's the real payoff. This framework becomes the central nervous system for the whole company. No more data stuck in silos. Instead, you have reliable information flowing seamlessly from R&D to manufacturing to sales, letting everyone make better, smarter decisions. So let's just pull this all together. It's really a four-part journey, right? First, you chart your course by figuring out your strategy. Second, you build a factory with the right tech. Third, you launch, and you keep making it better using real-time data. And finally, you govern the whole thing with a rock-solid data foundation.
And when you get there, the destination is so much more than just a shiny new factory. You're talking about being more competitive, more efficient, and delivering higher quality products that save lives. It's a fundamental change for the better.
So, there you have it. The map is in your hands. The path is clear. There's really only one question left to answer. Where will your journey begin?